Have you ever waited for something, worked so hard to get it, and imagine that once it happens, everything in your life will shift? And then the moment finally comes and it leaves you feeling empty. If you felt that way, you're not alone. Today, I want to share a story, both mine and someone else's, that helped me understand this emotional crash and what we can do about it. A few years ago, I had a goal in my academic journey that I carried for a long time. The goal was to publish in a specific academic journal. It was a symbol of recognition, validation, and progress. I tried once with a manuscript, but it didn't work out. Life, collaboration dynamics, and other priorities paused the effort. I tried again later, still no success. Eventually, after several years, I came back to this idea again. I finally submitted, and this time the manuscript was accepted. Overall, it took about 5-6 years for the whole process. Finally, my paper was published. But when it happened, the happiness lasted for a day or two. Then came a strange feeling of emptiness. I had achieved what once I saw as a success in academic journey. However, it did not make me feel more fulfilled, surprisingly. This also reminds me of a TED Talk by stage 4 cancer survivor. She talks about her recovery phase, that during this long recovery process, she kept visualizing herself on top of a mountain, strong, healthy, happy. She had an image of this valley on the top of the mountain that she kept visualizing. She kept telling herself that she would be physically on that mountaintop once she survives this cancer. That image gave her strength to keep going. Years later, she was cancer-free, and she finally made it to that mountaintop that she had been dreaming of for many, many years. But she said that it didn't feel the way she imagined. There were no fireworks. It didn't fulfill her in the way she expected. She said something profound. A goal is reached and celebrated, but an expectation is never satisfied. So no matter if it's an academic journal publication or cancer survivor journey, the expectations that we have along the journey in reaching the goal are the things that never makes us satisfied. We can keep having expectations and feeling like once we achieve this goal or this milestone, we would feel better, but it's all an illusion. The higher you put your goal on a pedestal, the lower and more depressed you will feel afterwards. From a neuroscience perspective, that makes sense. The high goals, they inevitably followed by low stage of enduring some pain. For example, Dr. Andrew Huberman and James Doty, neuroscientists, they both explain how our brain processes desire and reward. When we place a goal on a pedestal, the brain prepares for a huge dopamine spike by dampening the receptors to accept more dopamine. When the reward finally comes, it feels muted. And afterward, the nervous system seeks balance, often by triggering a low. So the higher the dopamine spike is, the lower the system will go afterwards. So it's not a weakness or ingratitude, it's just how the brain protects itself. So the same happens in academia. We think once I get published, once I win this grant, once my PhD students graduate, or once I get promoted and so on. But even if those things happen, they cannot fill an internal void. In the part 1 of this video, I talked about the 4 important components of probability of achieving your goal or milestone. These were thoughts, words, actions, and internal state. And the last one is particularly important. Our state of being is crucial in how we feel and how we perceive everyday situations. We can do all the right things externally, but if we do not feel whole and complete inside, those external things do not matter. Fulfillment does not come from the result. It comes from who we are becoming during the process of achieving that particular goal. And we can prepare for goals by not expecting them to complete us, because we are already complete, and those goals completing us is just an illusion. By cultivating joy during the process, by staying grounded, we can take life day by day and find joy in small things. For those high achievers who are constantly chasing goals, the book by Eckhart Tolle that's called The Power Is Now is a really eye-opening experience, because it allows you to understand that there is no tomorrow, there is no yesterday, there is only now. Even when you're thinking about tomorrow, feeling anxiety, you're thinking about it now. When you're thinking about yesterday, you're also thinking about it now. Thinking about yesterday too much leads to depression. So really, staying grounded and living in the now is the key to happy state of internal being. So if you are ever felt empty after achieving a particular goal, something important, know that it's not just you, it's the way how our brain is wired. And to avoid the lows in after achieving the goal, we can adjust our expectations and know from the start that achieving this goal or not, it will not fulfill us as human beings. No publication, no promotion, no degree or award can replace the quiet work of feeling whole inside. Maybe it's not the mountaintop that matters most. Maybe it's the way we walk our path. With this video, I would like to leave you with this thought: to be kind to yourself. Know that you're doing more than enough. Your goal is just to be you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.